AITAH for refusing to watch my daughter when we meet my husband's friend? I created this account to post here, as my husband knows my user. Sorry if the title doesn't make any sense. So, to start this I 26F and my husband 27M have a toddler 2F. I don't know how everyone else has it, but our toddler creates so much chaos wherever she is. She is so curious, she explored everything all the time, loves to rearrange stuff, and she runs wherever she needs to go. Basically, she is like what I've seen most 2-year-olds be like. At home, it's fine. Of course, I try to keep her in check. But we have of course child-proofed our entire home. The problem here is that one of my husband's friend and his girlfriend live just 5 minutes away from us. My husband and I get invited there almost every weekend, whether it's for food or just coffee. They are lovely people, but their house is filled with stuff. It's messy and overall the opposite of our home. No problem. They don't have children and they like to have stuff around. The problem is that every weekend, I spend 3 hours running after her, comforting her when she trips, making sure she doesn't break stuff or put things in her mouth. It's honestly tiring, and the fact that my husband just sits at the table and chat while I run around like crazy for so long irritates me. When we got invited over 2 weekends ago, I told him I wouldn't tag along. I explained my reasons and he told me that I was overreacting and that it's a normal part of parenting. I told him that either way, I wasn't coming. If he wanted our daughter to tag along, he could bring her. So he did, and he came back after just an hour and was in a bad mood the rest of the day. I asked him how it went, and he asked me if I felt happy with myself. This last weekend, we got invited over once again. I asked him if he wanted to look after her himself or do 50-50 with me. He didn't respond and went there himself. He's been off with me the whole week, making passive-aggressive remarks about my insane need to always be right, and yeah, other stuff. I'm starting to feel like maybe I went overboard because I know he has a much harder time keeping her in check than I have, and even I have it hard. AITAH for refusing to go there, if that means I have to watch her the whole time? Then coming to us isn't an option. I don't know why, because before his girlfriend moved in he was here just as much as we were at his place, but after she moved in he has declined every invite to come here. Edit small update? We've talked pretty short about it this morning, and it turns out he got pretty embarrassed at his friend's house. We will probably talk more about it, but yeah, he pretty much realized the difference in how much we both put in. Don't know if I will make an update post if people want it, and if something changes or anything I will probably. If not, thanks for all the comments. I've tried to read both the top comments and the ones who got downvoted, and I think both were pretty helpful for what points I will bring up. Comments Armadillo of Doom, I didn't need to be right, I was right, and you had just ignored it. Our kid is a lot, and you are perfectly happy dropping the entire responsibility onto my shoulders. So, we aren't doing that anymore. Your friends can come here if you want. Glitter Doomsday, right? Way to deflect. You learn a lot about a person by how they react to being wrong, and OP's husband has zero grace and humility. Simply saying, "You're right, babe, Lil One is a tornado," would not kill him, but alas. Freed123, I'd be salty too, if I realized I'd been coasting while my partner did all the chasing. It is wild how fast that changes your perspective. The Green Grace, I know he has a much harder time keeping her in check. That's because he hasn't tried. He has no practice. He hasn't developed the skills and instincts you have because he hasn't tried. He has chosen to let you be the default parent. Whether that's inside your home or just outside of it, I have a guess that was his choice. Don't let him weaponize his incompetence. This is very that. Stand your ground. Don't let him turn this around on you. Yes, you should be supportive and encourage him to spend more time with your kid, just the two of him. Recognize his efforts if he makes them, and try to be positive. You know how hard it was for you to learn. Some amount of compassion and cheerleading is called for. Unless he continues to act like a child, get defensive, and act like this is at all about your need to be right. It is absolutely not. It is about your need to be fair. LY treated as a partner. Update. 2 days later. Hi everyone who will see this update. I will start this by saying that I'm very grateful for all the responses my post got. I tried responding to people and read all the comments, but I honestly got overwhelmed with all the attention it got, but still incredibly happy that so many wanted to help give their opinion. So for the update, I added this in the edit I made on the original post, but the short answer I got was that he was embarrassed. His friend had made a few comments about how different me and my husband take care of her, and how much more my husband struggles with her. I'm sorry if this update makes no sense. We talked about very much later yesterday, and we both brought up so many points, so I will share those down here. Again, I'm sorry. 1. I brought up his lack of understanding for the work I put in to be a good mother, also brought up that he always criticized my parenting, but never tries to parent himself. He argued that I had taken the lead in parenting, forcing him to be a background character. This stems from the fact that he wanted to gentle parent to what I saw as an extreme. He wanted us to forbid the usage of the word no, other ways of telling her don't, or discipline in any way. I refused this. I'm not strict or anything, but for God's sake, I need to be able to tell my child to stop doing stuff, especially when that can cause her harm. Still, he felt like I had pushed him out of the way, which I didn't. He still parents her like that when they are alone. I just refused to parent her that way. 2. He himself brought up that the way he has behaved during these last weeks was not appropriate, and he told me he was very sorry for that. He told me he had thought it all over, but he also still felt like I played a big part in how he has felt and acted. 3. I brought up how whenever we go somewhere, our daughter becomes my sole responsibility, and he just gives up on being a parent. To this point, I also brought up that before we had our daughter, he hated the idea of becoming the kind-off dad he saw his family members be when he was little, but he had turned out to be just like that. He denied that and told me that he wasn't like that because when our daughter shows him things or talks to him, he interacts with her when we are out. I told him that is the bare minimum. He disagreed and wanted me to drop that. 4. He backtracked from what he told me yesterday morning. From going from that he felt embarrassed to that I had gone out of my way to try and embarrass him on purpose apparently. This is not true, and I explained my reasons to him. He still felt like I had refused to come with him just to make him look like a bad father in front of his friend. We talked so much more, but I feel like that was the most important stuff. So in conclusion, he still feels like I am wrong, he is right. I can't say anything to change his mind. He refuses marriage counseling or to take action to any of my points. I don't really know what to do from here. I feel disappointed and frustrated with the whole situation. This will probably be the only update I make to this, because I don't think this situation will improve in any way unfortunately. Thanks again to all of you. Even if the situation didn't improve, I still feel a whole lot more confident in myself and where I stand. Comments Bulbasaur. He still felt like I had refused to come with him just to make him look like a bad father in front of his friend. He had the opportunity to showcase he is a fit father. If he's embarrassed, that's because he was embarrassing. His friend thinks he's a bad father because, well, he very well might be. That's on him, and only him. Larry Man, he made himself look like a bad father, because he is. Purple Puffer P. I love that his reason for not being a present parent is because Opie wouldn't sign on to his plan of never saying no to the child. So basically, his idea of parenting was not parenting in the first place.